over the year where Ken's issues have been debated, I sat here at the last time and said, we are talking too much. And instead of focusing on actually prosecuting the man, we are focusing on the drama around his extradition and the public blood test for Ken to be seen, to be paraded in this country, to be handcuffed and all those things. And that those things were not material. Which is why I said, if we want to do this job, let us go ahead, focus on his prosecution, which can happen in absentia. But at that time, when I was speaking, nobody was moving in that direction. And I released the information here that he had not even been charged.
Well, Phoenix Media. Now, Kofi Bentil, ono eka, anaso ono ewo imani Ghana. Na yengina yenim se, Kofi Bentil ne former finance minister, Ofori-Atta adwuma so many years. Into ono onim in and out of former finance minister, Ofori-Atta. Now, ebusa, wabe reveal a lot of secrets and the plans are Ofori-Atta efa to fight against NDC government, deciding say ombe chino na oma prosecuting no. Ade say Kofi Bentil about be revealing all the secrets, and then we caution His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, OSP, and then the Attorney General say, "Omo very careful with the rate at which omo dealing with a Ofori-Atta issue, no." And yes, sir, Ofori-Atta was scot-free without any charges. And then see, Kofi Bentil, Bentil, Orca, Sansem way, OSP, and then Attorney General, and then the President of the Republic of Ghana. Abuja, I Phoenix Media. Mess also subscribe to your YouTube channel and Facebook, like a video at the amame. Share my phone be trainer for comment bra. I will comment section for amame. Now, MPP aban ebresono. Na Ofori-Atta and finance minister with emra omofra aban mu no. Ye nyina ye nim se owura kisi Agyapong. Ono the office of the special prosecutor on da ano sanso attorney general ono so ewo ho edi ni juma na yegyina yenim say after the election MPP for NDC for winning no omo ahre say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ahwe say obi a wadi oman ni sika ewo kwan boni bia so no omo edi nipa no beba into book na afi nso no asoswe sefata no omo enso etimi edi ama nipa no ama ye nyina ye nim sem ya chichi nkrofo bi mu ewo MPP aban no mu a ye prosecute omo na afi nso no ye hwese sika omo di ni nyina no omo betimi retrieve sika ni nyina de aboa oman no ama oman no etimi fa ne tuma pade for reach a very good initiative. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his government no ye eho adwuma. Now Kofi Bentil one finance minister, former finance minister, Ofori-Atta ye adwuma so many years. Na imani Ghana no yera ena edano. Now Kofi Bentil say share wakasa some way several times at the MPP NDC for say the rate at which omo person mo handle Ofori-Atta issue no enya ne sao. Omo person mo nya Ofori-Atta mdo Ghana ha ye de hanko for good insa ye de amokas ne ade afa no na Ghana for hu say Ofori-Atta ya che no wo se debi eno no nye issue eno no bi ehia si e be chi Ofori-Atta secretly na ya prosecute no na oman ni sika wadie no anase sika na afa ne nsase nyina o de beba no. That is the most important thing. Now Kofi Bentil say Ofori-Atta wonim the in and out of Ofori-Atta wonim the dream you can say ketashise ne proya Ofori-Atta aya ono no wonim say Ghana for nya ne sisi ya omo betimi a prosecute papa no. Now ebusia Kofi Bentil say Ofori-Atta wa America na omba ya so osa no ho ya rebia enya sa na tie o nemom on can the His Excellency John Dramani Mahama OSP and then Attorney General said Ofori-Atta one or lawyers akukudama omunim de ewo human rights emu na empokra no omaba betwitwa e de agye no It's America hɔ na ɔwɔ no ɛyɛ mmoaboa ho na ɔboaboa no ho apɛ ɛyɛ lawyers kuku dam a ɔmo ebetumi atwitwa ɛde agye no eti wɔ ɔba Ghana na saa lawyers no ɛɛba a ɔ presenting nsɛm no nyinaa de ama ɔmo a sɛsɛ Ofori-Atta nam saa procedure no so ɛɛpɛ saa lawyers no enti no ɔsɛ His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the OSP and then the Attorney General said that extradition ɔmo pɛ sɛ ɔmo nyɛ ne saa nneɛma no nyinaa no ɔmo ate fast ɔmo ntwa na morning tem ɛnyɛ saa Ofori-Atta he no seem very well a wɔn no obetumi afa kwania sɛ bia so enso empokra no atwitwa agye no ho a yɛkye no kra na enko baabia na abusua ɛyade sɛ owura Kofi Bentil a lot of secrets at the ababonte at the fuck Ofori-Atta former finance minister home kyerɛ deɛ ntia papa no ɛwɔ America as I reveal a lot of secrets abusua enya asem kitokra yankɔ na yentie owura Kofi Bentil the secret will review no embra.
Yeah. See, I said Ken is my senior brother, but on that day I was the one saying he should be tried in absentia, and you and many others blasted me for a month and said, what do I mean by trial in absentia, insisting that Ken come back. And I made the point.
Me, I didn't blast you, I just asked questions.
You, okay, fine. But later on, there was this whole discussion and blasting me because I said that if I was Ken's lawyer, in any case, any lawyer who was Ken's lawyer will not come. Now, a lot of the things I'm going to say have been said. I'm going to try and put it in a way, hopefully, to make it easy for people to understand, our viewers to understand. And I'm going to read this statement, and I'll show you. It's coming from the UN Convention Against Torture, Article 3. It's coming from the ICCPR, International Commercial, you can Google it, Article 6 and 7, African Charter on Human and People's Rights, and the ECOWAS Protocol on Democracy and Good Governance. They are there, Articles 5, 6, and 7. This is UN, African Charter, ECOWAS, and all those things. And I'm reading. It says, you find this in different forms in each of these ones. It says, an accused has a strong legal basis to refuse return to an antagonistic country. If, it says, if an accused has a strong, if hostility translates into real risk of unfair trial or serious harm, hostility can translate into real risk of unfair trial or serious harm. I'm not saying, it says if, and then this follows. It says, you can resist where there is political hostility to the accused, political hostility, politicians saying things against you. Prior persecution or harassment, things that constitute that. Lack of judicial independence, if there is a seeming lack of judicial independence, moving judges and all those things. Use of special tribunals or emergency courts. We are talking about tribunals today in Ghana. Evidence extracted by coercion. I can't say that is happening. Denial of legal counsel or open trial. No, that is happening. Now, my point is this. Over the year where Ken's issues have been debated, I sat here at the last time and said, we are talking too much. And instead of focusing on actually prosecuting the man, we are focusing on the drama around his extradition and the public blood test for Ken to be seen, to be paraded in this country, to be handcuffed and all those things. And that those things were not material. Which is why I said, if we want to do this job, let us go ahead, focus on his prosecution, which can happen in absentia. But at that time, when I was speaking, nobody was moving in that direction. And I released the information here that he had not even been charged. Ken was charged in November last month. After a year of talking, which gave all these grounds for Ken to resist. Let me make the first point. What the OSP did and what this government has done has given Ken a solid defense. And that is what I was talking about. That defense is why he cannot, or he will have a means to defend or to prevent himself from coming here. Let me make this point. Dr. Ayine is a top-notch lawyer and also a top-notch politician. Let me tell you what he was doing. He was managing expectation of the public by informing you that with the kind of things that have happened in the past year, which constitutes a defense for Ken, with the kind of lawyers, and of course he will have lawyers, and of course he won't have little boy lawyers, he will have serious lawyers. But Dr. Ayine is a top-notch lawyer. What he's telling you Ghanaians, he won't say it, I will say it, is that it will be a small miracle to extradite Ken Ofori-Atta to Ghana because of what the government, especially the OSP, has done. They have given him a solid defense. In any case, in the space of 3 years, he was telling you he can go to the first instance court, do an appeal, and go to the US Supreme Court. In the space of 3 years, it will be a small miracle to bring Ken to Ghana. Let me add this one too. You are asking for the extradition of a man who you have badmouthed for a year and who you just charged last month, who is not a convict. When you have a sitting convict in Sedina and you have not brought him here, you've left that one and you are asking the US government to extradite somebody you have simply charged when you have the room to prosecute him in absentia and you haven't done it. He's trying to tell you, Dr. Hine is trying to tell you that it will be a small miracle. Don't expect him to work that miracle. So see, when we come here and we talk like this, it is not because somebody wants to support somebody or whatever it is. It is because I see these things, and many times when I say things like this, people don't like it because of the way I say it, but this is what happens. The last time I was saying the way we are going is what is going to lead to a situation where Ken Ofori-Atta will not come, not because he's guilty. Ken has not been tried and proven guilty. And I'm telling you, do you know the number of charges against him? 78 or so. Are you aware?
78 is for all the accused.
All the accused. Any prosecutor.
I think there are about 20 or so against.
Any prosecutor involved in a serious case who puts up 78 charges is not serious. It's not serious. Because you and I know how long it takes to prove them, to try each of them. There are 2 or 3 that are going to catch the person.
Right, doesn't it matter the number of people involved?
It matters the number of people, but I'm saying that, look, the focus, who have we been talking about? Ken and his colleague.
When we had in excess of 78 charges against accused persons in the court, did you say the Attorney General was not serious?
You can have 1,000, but I'm saying 2, 3 or 4, not more than 10. Are going to nip the guy.
It's a general statement you have made that any prosecutor who prefers as many charges as 78 is not a serious one. And I'm saying we are living in a republic where this is actually not the highest number of charges.
But that's not the point.
An attorney
so here's my point. Here is my point, not what you're saying. My point is, in a matter like this, where you have a very laser focus on one person, and then you dump all these other people in, you don't focus, and you bring 70 plus charges against the person. All right?
You are not serious.
Because if you are serious, you will know that these plenty things, only less than 10 are going to hook him and then send him where you want to. Let me finish.
Kofi,
let me finish. Let
me ask you this.
It is important for me because you see, these are the things we do and then we will lose the case. Look, I'm telling you, read through the charges against Ken. He will walk with most of them. And he will use that to stretch this case. People have stretched their cases in this country for 8 years.
I was going to ask you a technical question. You say laser focus and deal with a couple of, charges. There are 9 people involved, right? Mm-hmm. And you know that the charges are not like stand-alone. They are interconnected. Mm-hmm. Somebody has done this and brought this person in. Somebody has done this, so they are interwoven. So how can you just single out Ken Ofori-Atta? Because you won't have a predicate offense.
Every prosecutor has a wide discretion, you and I know, on who he attaches for prosecution. That's 1. 2, what charges they bring against that person. Some of them even flip people within that circle.
The case is SML.
My brother, see, I know you're trying to moderate, but you're actually tackling me. So my point is...
No, I gave you enough time to speak before I ask questions.
No, well, I made this point and we are going back and forth on it. And my point is that, I repeat, any prosecutor who is faced with this kind of high-profile case, where there is a primary focus on one person, who, if all the people go free and Ken Ofori-Atta alone is convicted, the people of Ghana will be happy.
So is it your judgment that the prosecutor's focus should be Ken Ofori-Atta rather than all the other parties that have been
My
charged?
judgment is that given the way this case has gone, the persons who are prosecuting this case have made a series of bad decisions which will inure to Ken's benefit. And one of those bad decisions include how they've managed this process and also the fact that you are dealing with 78 or so.
I was waiting and someone around the DNA Kofi Bentil. And so I can't idea fucking Ofori-Atta and also the analysis and then the genesis of a seminal Aura Kofi Bentil explaining things, you know. I think His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and then the OSP and also the Attorney General also Multimedia active fast so that Obia when this Sikabia, especially Ofori-Atta, Omo Airpen no more Kwadwo abono no. Say Omutie and Sama Ora Kofi Bentil Kanoa. I think say Omo ebetumi gyina so active fast say be ya. Ora Ofori-Atta no omonsa ebetumi akano and then na omotumi de no afa emra kwan no so. Now after some way no and Attorney General so ababechi the reason behind say Ora Ofori-Atta as of now no extradition omo pese omo nye ne ade no omo enyanyeye na epokra no omo nam ewo the pipeline say empokra no omo betimi akwakofa eye Ofori-Atta e dey free US e dey aba man Ghana mu ase no mo aba be din asem no eye Attorney General so kasa kakra ebuso yentie nsem a eye Attorney General enso e kan ye e dey fa Ofori-Atta ensensem no e ho.
November 19th 2025, that is this year, my office received a formal request from the Office of the Special Prosecutor to initiate extradition proceedings for Kenneth Ofori-Atta and NS Darko Akore from the United States of America. Following a preliminary review, our International Cooperation Unit observed that certain aspects of the request require clarification and enhancements to align with the applicable legal and procedural requirements. We communicated these observations to the Office of the Special Prosecutor via a letter dated 25th November 2025 and requested supplementary documentation to ensure completeness. On December 9th, 2025, the Office of the Special Prosecutor provided the requested additional documentation and addressed the observations that we raised, thereby finalizing the extradition request packages. Subsequently, on December 10, 2025, my office transmitted the complete request to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for onward transmission to the competent authorities in the United States of America. That is, in this case, the Department of Justice of the United States.
I was here, Phoenix Media. Let's also subscribe to your YouTube channel and Facebook like video. And the amame share my for you, na fe fa comment bra. E wo comment section. Yakrama.